Good morning, everyone, and welcome to High Trust Coaching Live. I am Hope Borman. I'm the Divisional President for High Trust Coaching, and I am so excited. We are going to be doing our very first member showcase, and I have with me Nicki Montelongo. Nicki is one of our master level coaching members. She started out at producer level, which she's going to share a little bit about that. And we also have Travor Hammond, her coach, with us today. So good morning, Travor and Nicki.
Good morning.
Hey.
Good morning. How is everybody this morning?
It's good. If things beautiful, can't complain.
Yeah, you ready to rock this?
Yes.
Excited to be here and share.
Okay, let's jump in. So I thought that Travor, as Nicki's coach, maybe we would start with you, and maybe you can tell us a little bit about Nicki, talk about her journey, her production, where she is, and then we'll let Nicki tell us a little bit more about herself as well.
Absolutely. This is fun, Nicki. Nicki and I, she started coaching, and I was honored to become her coach January of 20. So what, a year and about 4 months ago. And I remember when we first met, her business was just starting to take off. You were in the midst of your biggest month ever, as I recall. I think you were working on closing about 21 loans that month, and you had shared that that's more than you did the entire Q1 of 2019. And so everything was starting to change for you, and your business was just starting to explode. And I remember like that, looking back, that was when COVID happened to all of us, and then everything just went really bonkers.
Yeah.
Everything you had done had already gotten you there. And I think, if I remember right, correct me if I'm wrong, but you had done, I wrote some things down, I think if I'm right, about 180 families in 2019. And then you ended 2020 at 374.
Wow.
A lot. Big jump.
Huge.
Yahoo.
Right? And 7 years in the business.
Feels like a long time.
I remember you were just high octane, lots of energy. I remember you just came across immediately like this woman is a student of this game. She wants to be great at it. And we just dove right in. You were running fast and you were excited. And I don't know, you can fill in any gaps there, I guess, but it's been a fun year and 4 month journey so far, and we still got a lot to go, of course.
Travor, just to that one point, I asked Todd not too long ago what the key to greatness is, and he said exactly that. He said commitment. It's commitment. And, once you have that commitment, when you said that Nicki was committed to mastering this business, to being the very best version of herself, that was something that I think is, that's been the driving force. And Nicki, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the driving force. So Nicki, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Well, he's right. It was kind of a journey. I like to say that journey started at the High Trust Sales Academy, actually. And I think I was there in December. And that was like the kicking point to just kick my butt into gear and was like, yep, I need coaching. I need help. I can't do this alone. And so it's crazy to me because you're talking about first quarter 2020. I actually texted him and said, how long have we been doing coaching together? Because it feels like forever and it's only been 1 year. So I was kind of embarrassed of that. But it is a whirlwind to see where we have come from. So we started at that lower level and I was just working on me and my business, and to look at where this has evolved into the master level. I didn't know that a year ago, that's where I wanted my business to go, and the clarity of where I'm going to be in 3 to 5 years and where I want this team to go. That is all his help and with the coaching. So it's been wonderful.
So would you say that through this coaching journey that you've been on, Nicki, that it kind of started to open more and more possibilities for you? You started to see more possibilities of what you could actually accomplish, would you say?
It gave me I think I didn't have the confidence that I didn't realize my potential. And through peeling the onion week after week with him and just elevating that business more and more, I'm like, now sky's the limit, and it's exciting to see where we're going to take this. And we're going to hire a new junior loan officer, and we have 2 assistants. And so it's just I didn't see that coming. And so hindsight, it's a very cool thing to look back on.
Well, one of the things that we enjoy doing the most, Nicki, is celebrating success. So we could not be happier for you and want to encourage you to just grow as much as you want. So congratulations on that. So let's get into this a little bit more. So Nicki, tell me, I understand that you mentioned a minute ago that you had started to grow a team, that you've got support staff that you're bringing on. Now you're bringing a junior LO. Talk to us about that process and what you're doing right now.
So so a year ago, it was just me and my assistant that I'd had for about 5 years or so. And obviously he's talked about that business just kept building. It was one of those things where him and I talked, I'm like, I need help. I'm drowning. And he gave me the courage, I feel like, and to push management in a positive way to say, hey, here's what I can do for you. Here's what I need. And if you give me this assistance, which I would have paid for it myself, mind you, I would have invested in myself, but the bank didn't allow that. Push them to see that, which got me that other assistant. So I feel like my first huge obstacle that I got, though, with having another person on board was you have 2 separate people on your team, and how do you grow them, and how do you nurture 2 different people that maybe are like this to keep moving forward? And so I remember so many times talking to Trevor, and he's like, stop telling stories. And I'm like, oh, he's so right. I remember like, oh, it's COVID and we're working remote and we have a new system and I can't train and I can't measure. And he's like, stop, like just stop. And so that was such an impactful moment. I remember, so my assistant and I will yell at each other like, Nicki, are you telling stories? And so breaking down and truly stopping telling myself stories and measuring performances on an individual basis to track, how they're doing and to give them feedback to help them grow. And so that was something that I hadn't had to do previously, which was a little bit of a skill set that I'm always learning and a little uncomfortable with, but I think it made me for the better. So through that last quarter, we found that maybe one of our assistants wasn't the best fit. So ended up having to put my head together. Him and I had some serious conversations. Okay, we're growing the team. I need to have, we talked about A players. And so we had lengthy calls into that. So I actually wrote like a piece of paper of like what it takes to be on Team Montelongo and shared that with the team. And it was really insightful because the other assistant who I'm friends with for 5 years is like, hey, I'm not a good fit for your team. Like I'm not going in the right direction. And it was hard and we made that cut.
Wow.
But at the same time, like we're better for it. So one of our like closing 40 loans with Erin, my other assistant, with the 2 of us after 45 days of our other assistant leaving, we closed 40 plus loans with 2 of us. So I think having the right players makes you efficient and pushes each other to be better. It was a good move. It's scary, but good.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And it's I love that. That your person, the person that left, as your energy kept rising and the proficiency and excellence kept driving up higher and higher and higher, this person really kind of said to themselves, this, I can't rise this high. And so it always it's almost like an evolution that happens, and as long as you're open to it, you just kind of go with it. And then look what happened, you became 10 times more productive. And, so Trevor, can you talk a little bit about, Nicki mentioned a minute ago about the conversations with regard to her investing in herself and or engaging the management to help her, to support her in this process. Could you walk us through that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. When we first started, as maybe some people don't know, but producer level coaching is all about the client, right? About Nicki and helping her with her own productivity. And so the other things we were starting in on as we started this journey were, she wasn't really engaging with her database as much as she had liked to, right? She was getting busier and she was missing big opportunities there. And then I remember we started talking about, we really need to clean up, law of the broom, clean up her real estate relationships. Mm-hmm. She really wanted to kind of pare that down to her best of her best, and then add some better ones. But then through all that, we started realizing she's doing everything we talk about. She needs more support and she needs better support. And I remember Nicki, just at the time, she mentioned confidence. She wasn't sure and almost needed some validation on the outside, which happened to be me in this case, of what she should be asking for. Where should she put her foot down and not demand, but respectfully go to the bosses, the powers that be, and say, look, if you give me more support, I will show you what I'm capable of. And that became more of that mental shift that she had to have. She's just head down, helping tons of families, running 100 miles an hour, trying to stay balanced. And I think what happened was I was able to come along and say, no, you're a top producer. You need this, and you need to be confident in asking for it. And so we had, because of her environment, we had to really put the package together. And I'm always a big fan of show your bosses what the ROI will be from helping me invest in myself and my team. And so that started this process, and they got on board and supported her. And I remember Erin came on full time, was the first step. We're like, yes. And Erin was a budding rock star for her. And I think she was 20 hours a week basically. And you're like, if I could just get Erin full time.
Mm-hmm.
And that was their first step of saying, yep, we'll help you out. You got her full time. And it was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful. I love that. I love that, Nicki. So let's move on just a little bit and talk about your database strategy. And Trevor, I'm going to ask you to talk one more time about the strategy. And then I'd like for Nicki to talk about how she implemented it and what that experience was like for her.
Yeah, I can unpack it, and then Nicki can talk about what she's doing with it personally. Yeah. I've just running my own team, being a coach through High Trust. I'm really focused on segmenting our database. You know, for a lot of us in 2020 who had record years, we added more people to our databases than ever before. And it gets harder and harder. Like, who do I focus my time on? I can't treat everyone equally. And you know, Todd is a huge teacher and proponent of the 80-20 rule, which most of us should know. So it's a version of that. But what I've been doing and what I'm helping Nicki do now is adding another layer of that segmentation. So what we're doing is everybody that's done a loan with you, right, should be in your database. And then I said, you know what, we're going to call A clients, people I love, they love me, it was a great experience. Maybe they've done multiple loans with us. They're an A client, okay, and they need some special love, special treatment throughout the year, better stay in touch systems. But then I created a VIP level. And the requirement to go from A to VIP is that client of mine has also referred somebody new to me. Okay. And they've identified themselves as an influencer, right? They're that person that watches that new show on Netflix and goes and tells other people about it and gets them to watch it. Yeah. So I was just sharing with Nicki that we got to find those people. So she started going through her database and determining who's done multiple loans with her, who her A's are, of course, but then out of those, who's actually proven themselves to refer more of their friends or family or coworkers, because we need to feed that fire. We need to fan those flames and really love on those people, make sure we're doing annual reviews. And so we really have dug down on our VIPs. So it's a new category that I think that's going to be another breakthrough for Nicki, because she can't, you helped, what did we say? 374 families last year, plus all the families before. You can't give them all equal time. So that's really the idea behind this that we're going on right now.
Yeah, thank you for unpacking that, Trevor, because when you and I talked about it earlier this week, I thought it was genius, and it was absolute genius. And so, Nicki, I'd love to hear from you now how you implemented that, what the outcome is, and just what happened through that process for you.
Honest, that was like a homework project that I did. That was, I can't give you like what that did for me. I was trying to burn at every client of mine all of these things that are non-negotiables, like the reviews and calling and doing this. And I'm like killing myself for people that probably don't even necessarily appreciate it. So taking that list down to, I thought my A's loved and adored me. And then you realize that I've spent all this extra time, money, and effort into somebody that I thought would refer me, and they didn't refer you. So to me, I even talked to him. I'm like, okay, so our game plan is we're going to take the VIPs. I've got a calendar. We went and bought like special birthday things. We're going to do the 2 personal phone calls for me a year. And we're baking like a calendar that we're not going to recreate every year, but we're going to have this nice calendar that we're going to do the VIP stuff with. Then we talked about it and took a step further. Like, these A's love, and I'm friends with them, or whatever the case may be. I know their kids. Why aren't they referring? So then we made a plan of like, okay, we said you need to make it easy for them. So then now we're making a plan where I'm going to maybe make some educational Facebook videos, and then I make a personal call to my A's and say, hey, this video is really helpful. It might help some of your friends or families. Could you share that? So trying to fine tune that influencer skill in some of those A's to move them up to the VIPs. But I'm dealing with this many people instead of this many people, and it's just a lot more powerful. And going deep with like the 80-20 rule, I mean, I knew that forever, but really putting it into practice was just, I can't put into words how much, I guess, stress came off of my shoulders too.
Yes.
To not have to feel like I need to do so much for everybody.
Yeah. It starts to become a business that you love. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So Nicki, you mentioned, I love the idea, and I love the concept of first identifying your influencers, your established VIPs, and then moving your A people into the influencer VIP stage. What was that process, and how did you go about doing that?
So we're working through that, but Travor just kept saying you have to make it easy. It's not a skill set that they have natural maybe to them. So the path of least resistance. So we were going to, starting with the posts and calling them and saying, hey, would you mind sharing that? And I have definitely, like, he could vouch for this a little bit. I've been asking for the business more now than ever. It's not necessarily my best skill set, but we're always working on it. I'm improving daily. So by asking for the business, letting them know it's important, making it easy through like a video post or something like that they could share.
Sure.
It's new. So bear with me.
Yeah.
Well, can I throw in a tip?
Yes,
that I think would be helpful?
Travor.
One of the things that Nicki and I have talked about that I've always figured out is, when we grow up in this business, we're always taught to ask the question, hey, who else do you know that might be thinking about buying or selling a house? Can you please introduce us? That's far too easy for somebody to say no.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're not in this business, most people don't know somebody off the top of their head.
Yeah.
So then you're kind of hoping that by accident, they remember us whenever that time comes along.
Yeah. Yeah.
So one of the things we want to shift around is saying, if you're like Nicki is doing, if you will be doing your annual client reviews, annual mortgage reviews consistently, it's much easier to say something to the effect of, hey, who else do you know that has a house, has a mortgage, and just isn't quite sure if they're doing it right?
Right.
That the house is, working for them, and then instead of them working for it, and get some scripting around that, because now all of a sudden you open up, oh my gosh, yeah, I know tons of people that have a house and have a mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
Who might want to just go through a 15-minute call with you to just review things?
Yeah. Exactly.
So shifting your question around,
yes,
can also open up more client referrals and move those A's into VIPs, because now you've given them more ammunition on how to get people to you. And that's an example of making it easier for them.
Yeah. Help them help you. Right. So, I a lot of our coaching members, I think have a struggle with that, Nicki, so you're not alone with asking for referrals. And I think that one of the things that I work with a lot is finding your voice in that scripting. Your voice in that, my business is by referral only. If you know somebody who would appreciate my service, I would love to hear from them. Just whatever that scripting is, but try to find, if you find that scripting that feels natural to you and feels energetic to you, then just go with that. And you might want to also teach your team every time they get a compliment about your team. God, your team is so amazing. This has been a great experience. I love working with you guys. I've never worked with a lender like this. Every time they hear that, have the flag go up and say, the best compliment Nicki can get is a referral. If you know somebody who would appreciate her service, we would love to hear from you. Just get them in that mantra, and it will grow like wildfire.
I love it.
Yeah. So let's move on a little bit, and let's talk about referral partners. Yay. So Nicki, talk to me a little bit about your referral partner process, what your strategy is, how it's been working, new strategies you've implemented this year. So talk to us a little bit about that.
So I want to say, after High Trust Sales Academy, they kind of beating the horse in a good way, like you need to be doing partnership calls. So straight out of the gate in January of 2020, that was just something that I implemented on weekly partnership calls. That was my segue to try to win new agents as well. Obviously, like he said, I was going from like 25 people plus to like narrowing it down less than 10. So that makes it a little bit more manageable with the people you want to do business with. Mm-hmm. But that kind of just started off slow with doing the partnership calls, but where it really got, I feel like, special and exciting was throughout the site, like the second half of last year. I had two of my agents. You know, every time you're talking, you're an advisor, you're helping them grow their business, and you're being proactive. We got to a point with two of my agents that were just screaming that they needed help. And so as somebody who's already done a lot of legwork and trying to win over an assistant position, I was able to help like advise them through that process. And then we ended up taking a step further, and we helped them do like comp plans and their value add of how to recruit an agent and how they need to, you know, present themselves to grow. And so it's kind of exciting to know, like, they didn't have that in their head either, kind of like I didn't have it in mind, but through working with me and through Travor, like reverse osmosis, they now have a team, and I was a huge part of helping them open their eyes to that and guiding them through that, which is a huge value add that you can't put a dollar on, and that just completely strengthens those relationships. So that was like my first, like, man, this works.
Well, that's when you move from vendor to partner, right? Yep. Now you're a partner. Now your relationship is collaborative. Now the two of you are helping, doing what we propose it, at High Trust is, helping you grow your business, help you be as successful as you possibly can be. And that's your primary role in your partnerships. So talk to us a little bit more about what you're doing right now, with your partnerships and helping and being collaborative with them.
So we all know that 2021 right now it's rough. This market is very rough. So right now our conversations are strictly around, obviously talking about opportunities as well, but how can we win? So what are they seeing on contracts? How are other people winning contracts? What am I seeing? We're talking about creative ways. We even came up with, and I was telling Travor about this, that I was watching a podcast from Todd Duncan, and he was talking about videos have a juice factor. I swear he said juice factor. And so I was talking to the agent, and I'm like, you know what? Videos have this juice factor. It's different. So now I'm doing videos to the selling agent and asking them to share with their sellers about how amazing the client is and what we've done to vet out their stuff. So maybe it gives them an edge. And I was super excited. A week ago, we won over a cash offer for $3,000 more. One of our cash offers, and she said the video made the difference. So that juice factor he talked about worked. It was good.
That juice factor works.
Yeah.
So what did you say? What did you say in your video? Tell us about your video, Nicki.
Keep it simple and short. It was, hey, you're going to get an offer from this agent, and I have vetted out, so they knew, like, I've already checked their income, I've already vetted out the assets, their credit's great, they're an ideal client, or maybe to this, like, you wish all your clients were this way if that's truly the truth. And just said, hey, would you mind sharing this video with your client? That would be great. Thanks. And so simple, didn't take me much time, one take, done, send, but it made the world of a difference in a multiple offer situation. And I won another one, same situation, that same weekend. So Monday when I came into work, we had like 11 deals. So it worked. We'll take it.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Are you getting any feedback, Nicki? Are you getting any feedback from the listing agents that you're setting the videos from? Are they calling you and asking more questions? Are they engaging with you?
So the two that I heard that actually worked, they just told the other agent that it worked. So I didn't go any step further. So one of the things that Travor and I have, like, it's one of my 2021 endeavors, which I haven't gotten there yet, but I'm working on it, is I did one video, I guess. So we're taking anybody that I've been in contact with on the selling and buying side, and I'm going to start sending agent videos on, like, once a week about tips and tricks and how to win, and do all this research where I'm going to be doing all this homework on the back end to be able to give them content. So if they're on that deal, they're on my list now that they're going to get that video from me. So again, value add, trying to stand out in the pack, help everybody win. I can just, this one last thing though, I say that it's not only helping the client win, it's helping make the agent stickier with the client. So when I do my follow-up calls with my clients, I'm telling them that you and your agent and I are having mastermind conversations about how to help you win. And they're like, what? Like, you're doing that for me? You're going to send a video? Like, it just solidifies to that person that much more too, which is good.
Now remember, Nicki, 16 months ago, you weren't doing video.
I know.
Now look at you.
Did she say no?
No videos when we first met. And now she's sending videos to listing agents to help get offers accepted, for her clients. It's awesome. You just got to step out on that dance floor, right? And just have the courage to do it, and look what happened.
Yeah. Sending a video, I got flowers from a client. I could have texted thanks for the flowers instead of like, thanks for the flowers. You know, whatever it takes. Videos just have that emotional connection.
Yeah.
Well, you share too, though, Nicki, you're applying some system to this. So it's not just randomly talking to your agents. Yeah. You've put this into some activity-based, calendar time management process. So share that with you real quick.
Yes.
You're talking about the videos on a weekly basis?
Well, your communication with your partners on a weekly basis.
Oh, so we do weekly follow-up or weekly communications to all agents on a transaction. Is that what you're talking about? Is that what you're hinting at, the weekly updates?
Well, you had shared with me that you're setting up a weekly call with each of your agent partners to talk.
Okay, we do that. So that's our weekly, no ifs, ands, or buts through 2021. We did that as well. Like that was something, even how busy we were with refinances, I didn't drop the ball on that. So no matter what, we have a 30-minute call every week. We talk through the market. We talk about our clients. We talk about the opportunities. No ifs, ands, or buts.
And that right there, I think, is what most people are.
I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say most people are missing that part. It's they kind of ebb and flow with it, And Nicki is very disciplined, very organized, and she's got that commitment from her agents every week. No matter what, 30 minutes. And it's not just about transactions going on right now. It is also about us working together, being more effective together, the current market, and really strategizing. And as you said earlier, Hope, that's a partnership.
Yes.
And I think that's something everyone that watches this could implement this week right away is more intentional, purposeful, weekly conversations with their best partners. And then they go deeper with those partners and get more business with those partners.
Yeah. Exactly. And I love what Nicki was talking about, making the client more sticky, and through that purchase process, now that, because ultimately, with the listing agent, the buyer's agent, and the lender teaming up together on that transaction, that client is going to have an immense experience through this process. So it's not only making Nicki look great, but it's obviously going to create new business and referrals for that listing agent, for that buyer's agent, and so on and so forth. So that's just absolutely amazing. I mean, the benefits, it just keeps growing and growing and growing. So I can't believe it. We are coming up to the end of our 30 minutes. So I did want to kind of throw a curveball at both you and Nicki. So I'm going to let Nicki go first. Nicki, knowing what you know now, if you can finish this sentence for me, okay? You ready? Knowing what I know now, I would take the leap into coaching, take the leap into getting more help and assistance, take the leap into approaching that agent, take the leap in anything that you're just a little reserved from. Like, do it. You're going to be so grateful for it. That's amazing. That's exactly, I think it's the biggest thing that we all kind of, get a little bit afraid of taking that leap and moving in that comfort zone, right? That's where the magic happens. So, right, Nicki? So, Mr. Travor, are you ready for your curveball? Ready? Okay, here it comes. Complete this sentence. The key to greatness is.
The key to greatness is consistently doing the right things that will grow your business. If we're talking about business.
Yeah.
Consistency, I guess, would be the one word. Yeah. You said commitment from Todd earlier. Yes, you got to commit to it, but then consistency is what I think keeps most of us back from where we could be. And Nicki just was an example of that. Consistently having a weekly planning call with her best partners. Consistency, not just once in a while, not when you think about it, every week.
Yeah, I love that word, Travor, consistency. Consistency in your implementation, consistency in your execution, consistency in your growth, right? Continually growing, consistently growing and expanding. I love, that's a great word. So thank you for that. So we have come up to the end of our 30 minutes. I can't believe this. Nicki, thank you so much for joining us today. Congratulations on your success. Please keep us in the loop. Trevor, you are not only one of our master level coaches, but you are also an elite member. You are an icon in your market area as far as a market leader. You're an influencer yourself. Thank you so much for being a part of High Trust Coaching, and have an amazing day, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Nicki, great job.
Thank you, guys.
Yay.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.